Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hypergamous Journey. I'm not going to do my introduction. Sometimes I like to do it and sometimes I don't. So anyway, I think this is maybe a continuation of my last video talking about resting in your femininity in retirement. I have some notes here. That's why I'm looking down. So this is just an observation that I've made in my own life, and let me know in the comments if you agree or this is also part of your reality. As you see, I am a Black woman, so I can't really speak to any other ethnicity or any woman in a different country, a different culture. I was born and raised in the United States, Harlem, New York City to be exact. And so this is what I've noticed in my own life, and now I'm 62 years old. So like I said in my last video, I have been binge listening to Chloe_'s videos, and she mentions almost in every video resting in your femininity. That's what she says, resting in your femininity. And I've been mulling this concept over and seeing how it has not applied in my life because I didn't know any better. And when you know better, you do better. So I'm doing better. And it's been a 4-year journey. My hypergamous journey has been 4 years up to date. So I started in June of 2019 with Shira 7-1. The Pink Pill with Kristen Karazin, Michaela Pink. I think she is under a different name now. And more recently, Chloe_ and the Universe Guru. So resting in my femininity, and this has not applied to me up until 4 years ago. And really, it didn't even apply 4 years ago, resting in my femininity. The only time I have been able to rest in my femininity, with air quotes, rest in my femininity, is when I have been ill, when I've been sick. And then you're not really resting in your femininity, you're resting to recover from your illness, your sickness, your surgery, from having your baby, from having your babies. And you're not really able to rest in your femininity as far as I feel the true definition of it is. So the question becomes, what is your definition of resting in your femininity? It will be different for every woman. My definition will not fit your definition. And even if we have similar or the same definition, it will play itself out differently in our lives. I haven't been able to rest in my femininity, not ever. Maybe when I was a little girl, I was able to do somewhat girly things, but I don't ever just really recall like somebody protecting me. Yeah, I had to learn early how to protect myself. I learned that early. So what does resting in my femininity mean to me? Well, I've never had the opportunity to do so. When I was able to even rest, let's just take the first part of the phrase, resting your femininity. Rest, to me, without looking up the actual definition, means to take your time to get enough sleep, to relax without having a running mental list of things that you need to do, not having to should, S-H-O-U-L-D, should on yourself. For example, I should be up and reading that report. I should be up and out of the bed at 12 noon by now. I should be up and doing something, fill in the blank. I should be doing fill in your blank without even having to think about that, because that is exhausting in itself. What woman doesn't have a laundry list of things that she should be doing? I got mine, you got yours, and you've got yours, and you've got yours. So to me, that's a definition of rest. You can just lay in bed. You don't even have to sleep, but you're just laying in bed. You have opened your eyes, stretched a little bit, yawned, and turned back over, and decided that you weren't going to get up right then and there, that you were just going to lay there and just rest. Or you got up, made your tea or your coffee, and decided, I'm going to go back to bed and I'm just going to rest. Even if that means, looking at Netflix in the bed, and you haven't showered or done anything, you're just going to just like lay there. And that's the way it's going to be all day, without guilt, without shame, without your should list or your, mental to-do list, without any of that. So in my life, I feel like I've only had the opportunity to rest in my femininity, and not completely in the definition of the word, is when I've been sick. In 2021, I got COVID, and I was just so sick that I thought, it's like, okay, God, if you're ready to take me, I'm ready to go. That's how sick I was. But the thing is that I didn't have all of the signs and the symptoms that other people had. Like, I didn't have to go and get on a ventilator and do all of that. I was just extremely thirsty and extremely weak. I mean, I've never experienced any kind of sickness like that before. And I was just like, okay, God, literally, if you're ready for me to go, I'm ready to go. But needless to say, that wasn't the case. I'm still here. Thank God. But then I looked at resting in my femininity throughout my life. And the only time I've been able to rest is when I've been sick or recovering from, an illness. And then you're not really resting in your femininity. You're resting to recover from whatever ailment or surgery or condition that you had. You're just resting to recuperate. You're resting to get your health back. And you're resting so you can go back to work. It's not that you're resting so that you can continue to do your feminine things. You're basically resting so you can go back to work for another 30 or 40 years until it's time for you to retire at 65, your full retirement age, or 67, another retirement age. Because it seems like, every 20 years they want to extend the retirement age. Every 20 to 25 years they want to extend the retirement age by another 2 or 3 years. So those are my thoughts about resting in your femininity. Let me know your thoughts. I've been working a long time. Even as a child, I was working to earn a little change for myself by cornrowing people's hair, my peers, other children's hair. And at least I had enough sense to charge them for it. When I first started learning to braid, of course, I didn't charge. But after I got pretty good at it and people and kids were asking me to braid their hair, I was like, okay, I need to charge for this because it takes a long time to do, and I did it pretty well. So I've been working since I was 10, and then I started working in where I had a Social Security card and a paycheck when I was 14. In New York City, we had it was called Youth Corps, where you could they were, the government, the federal government and the state government were financing companies to hire teenagers for the summer to work. And I'm not sure if they're still doing that, but that was a big thing. You know, all of the ambitious kids who wanted their own income, you would see them line up for the summer at the local armory. And there were, you know, many around the 5 boroughs in New York City and the other 5 boroughs where kids would go to get their summer jobs. And I did that for 2 years, 14, 15. And then by the time I was 16, I was able to get a job from my high school and get jobs through there. And then 17 years old, I started working with temp agencies as a secretary. And I never forget, I was making $10 an hour as a 17-year-old when my friends were working at McDonald's, making minimum wage. So thank God I never had to work at a fast food restaurant or anything like that. I've always worked in offices because I could type. And it was the kind of high school, vocational high school I went to too, where they taught typing and accounting. And, well, it was called bookkeeping then. Typing, bookkeeping, things that you could, that were needed in an office setting. So that's my take on resting in your femininity and, you know, a lot of Black women's experience with resting in their femininity is that they only get to rest when they are ill, having a baby, recovering from surgery, recovering from an illness, or even like the flu. And then you're not really resting in your femininity. You're just resting to recover. Resting so that you have enough strength to go back to work. If you like this video, any of my others, please like, subscribe, share. When you do those things, like, subscribe, share my videos, it helps with the algorithm so that more women get to see my content, my videos, and I can offer some hope. I'm hoping that I'm offering hope, insight, and if I could just prevent one person from making the mistake that I did, I would be happy. Just one person, if it could just be one person, and they can do something different with their lives and do it better. Now, don't get me wrong, my life is good. I don't have any complaints about my life, but I do know that I could have done some things differently and maybe would have had the marriage and the children that I desired at the time. So that's my take on resting in your femininity. Let me know in the comments what your take is on resting in your femininity. Bye. See you in the next video.